Ford CEO has finally had enough, canceling the controversial EV certification program for dealers. In this video, we'll explore the signs that led to this decision, from financial losses and dealer lawsuits to the growing focus on hybrid vehicles. Let's dive into why this shift is a crucial move for Ford. Delayed EV projects. It's no surprise that Ford CEO decided to pull the plug on their controversial EV program for dealers. One of the main reasons? The massive delays in their EV projects. Let's dive into why this decision makes perfect sense. So, Ford has been facing some serious financial headaches with their electric vehicle ventures. They had big dreams, planning to pump $12 billion into EV investments this year alone. But reality hit hard, and these grand plans had to be shelved. This wasn't just a minor hiccup. It affected significant projects in Tennessee, Ontario, and Ohio. Imagine the frustration of seeing all that potential innovation grind to a halt because the numbers just didn't add up. Then there's the production cut of the F-150 Lightning, Ford's flagship electric truck. They had to slash production in half, which is a clear indicator that the demand or the logistics just weren't there. Along with this, 1,400 workers found themselves out of jobs, and that's a pretty big deal. It highlights how the electric dreams are costing real people their livelihoods, not to mention the impact on the communities that rely on those jobs. This whole situation shows the reality that the electric vehicle industry isn't as rosy as some might paint it. The financial losses and delays show that the market isn't ready for a full EV takeover. Traditional vehicles still have a stronghold, and forcing a premature shift to electric can backfire, causing more harm than good. Lawsuits from dealers. Another major factor in Ford's decision to cancel its controversial EV program for dealers was the wave of lawsuits from dealers themselves. Those legal battles were a headache that no company wants to deal with, and they exposed some deep flaws in Ford's approach to its electric vehicle certification program. Dealers in several states took Ford to court over this program, and their grievances were pretty serious. They argued that Ford was trying to push through unlawful franchise modifications, imposing unfair pricing and cutting into their profit margins. This wasn't just about a few disgruntled dealers. It was a widespread issue that showed the program was fundamentally flawed. The heart of the dealers' argument was that they should be able to sell all Ford vehicles, including EVs, without needing additional certification. From their perspective, this extra certification requirement was just a way for Ford to squeeze more money out of them and reduce their margins. It felt like a raw deal, and they weren't going to stand for it, understandably. For those of us who are skeptical about the EV push, this situation highlights the problems with trying to force a shift to electric vehicles. The market isn't just about consumers, it's also about the dealerships that sell these cars. If these dealers, who are the backbone of the auto sales industry, are struggling with the way EV programs are rolled out, it's a sign that something's not right. In the end, these lawsuits were a significant reason why Ford's CEO had enough. The legal costs and the damaged relationships with dealers and the overall messiness of the situation made it clear that continuing with the EV certification program just wasn't worth it. It was time to cut losses and rethink the strategy, focusing on what works and what the market is actually ready for. Dealers' reluctance to invest. Dealers' reluctance to invest in Ford's EV program was another key reason why the CEO finally decided to cancel the controversial EV certification program. Initially, many dealers were on board, willing to put up to $1.2 million on the line to sell electric vehicles. This was a significant investment, showing that there was a genuine interest and optimism about the future of EVs. However, the reality didn't match the expectations. The growth of the EV market slowed down, and Ford faced significant losses with each electric vehicle sold. These financial setbacks made dealers rethink their initial enthusiasm. Investing such a large amount of money no longer seemed like a wise decision when the returns were uncertain and the market was not as robust as anticipated. As more and more dealers started to withdraw from the program, it became clear that the initial excitement was waning. The significant losses per vehicle were a major deterrent, and the dealers weren't seeing the benefits they had hoped for. This reluctance to invest was a huge red flag for Ford's dealership. In response to this growing discontent, Ford made a smart move by canceling the EV certification program, and this decision allowed all dealers to sell EVs without requiring a hefty investment. It was a way to acknowledge the dealers' concerns and make the selling of EVs more accessible and less risky for them. This situation shows the practical challenges of pushing for a rapid transition to electric vehicles. If even the dealers, who are the front line of the automotive industry, are hesitant to invest in EVs, it speaks volumes about the current state of the market. The enthusiasm for electric vehicles can't override the financial realities and market readiness. Ford's CEO saw the writing on the wall and decided to take a step back, prioritizing a more balanced approach. This decision reflects a pragmatic understanding that the push for EVs can't come at the expense of dealers' livelihoods and financial stability. Shift to hybrids. Another crucial reason behind Ford's decision to cancel the controversial EV certification program for dealers is the shift in focus to hybrid vehicles. The slower than expected growth of the EV market has led Ford to reconsider its strategy, and hybrids are proving to be a much more promising area right now. Hybrid vehicle sales have been booming for Ford, with a nearly 70% year-over-year increase. This is a significant growth, indicating that consumers are much more receptive to hybrids than fully electric vehicles at this point in time. Ford sold over 38,000 hybrid vehicles in just the first quarter, and these numbers include popular models like the Maverick compact pickup and the F-150 hybrid. These sales figures show that hybrids are resonating well with consumers who are perhaps not ready to make the full leap to electric, but are interested in more fuel-efficient and eco-friendly options. For those of us who are critical of the EV hype, this shift to hybrids makes a lot of sense. Hybrids offer the best of both worlds: the reliability and familiarity of traditional gasoline engines combined with the fuel efficiency and environmental benefits of electric motors. They don't come with the same range anxiety or infrastructure challenges that pure EVs do, making them a more practical choice for many consumers. By focusing more on hybrids, Ford is responding to market demands and consumer preferences. This strategic pivot shows that the company is willing to adapt and prioritize what actually works, rather than pushing an agenda that isn't financially viable or widely accepted just yet. It's a move that acknowledges the current limitations of the EV market and leverages the growing popularity of hybrids to maintain momentum and profitability. The decision to cancel the EV certification program for dealers aligns with this shift. It reduces the burden on dealers, who no longer need to make massive investments in a market that's not delivering expected returns. Instead, they can focus on selling hybrids, which are in higher demand and more financially sustainable. Ford Finder online program. Ford's decision to cancel the controversial EV certification program for dealers is also influenced by the introduction of the Ford Finder online program. This move towards direct sales has shaken things up quite a bit, especially among traditional dealerships. The Ford Finder program allows customers to configure and purchase vehicles online directly from Ford, eliminating the need for dealer markups. This is a game changer in the automotive industry, offering a more streamlined and potentially cost-effective buying experience for consumers. For customers, this means no more haggling over prices or dealing with the traditional dealership hassles. They can simply go online, customize their vehicle, and purchase it at a straightforward price. However, while this might seem like a win for consumers, it's a different story for traditional dealerships. Dealers have been the backbone of car sales for decades, and this new platform essentially sidelines them. They see it as Ford stepping on their toes and undercutting their role in the sales process. This bypass of their involvement has naturally led to a lot of upset and frustration among dealers. From an anti-EV perspective, this situation highlights another layer of complexity in the shift towards modern automotive sales and electric vehicles. Dealerships are essential for consumer service, maintenance, and local economic support. By pushing direct sales, Ford is disrupting these established relationships and economic structures. It's not just about selling cars, it's about the livelihoods of those who work in and depend on these dealerships. The introduction of Ford Finder has added to the strain between Ford and its dealers, especially at a time when the EV market is already causing enough turmoil with financial losses and market uncertainties. For many dealers, investing heavily in EV certification seemed like a risky bet, especially when they might be bypassed in the sales process anyway. In light of this, Ford CEO's decision to cancel the EV certification program can be seen as a move to ease tensions and address the concerns of the traditional dealerships. It's a way to acknowledge their importance and ensure they remain integral to Ford's business model, even as the company explores new sales avenues. Ford's cancellation of the EV program reveals the pressing need for a realistic strategy in the automotive industry. It's clear that the future lies in balancing innovation with what truly works for both dealers and consumers. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel so you can see more videos like this.